Yuri with President of United Soldiers and Sailors of America. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization of military and veteran charity as well. I'm here with one of our board directors. I'm actually in Washington, D.C., and I'm with Gabe Lee here, who is in Boulder, Colorado. So, Gabe, I'll let you take it from there.
Sure. Hey, everybody. Gabriel Lee, member of the Board of Directors, United Soldiers and Sailors of America, former U.S. Marine. I know that this is a really interesting time to kind of be involved with a veterans nonprofit advocacy type of program, whether it's nonprofit or whether it's just volunteering in your communities or supporting financially or just watching the video or if this is playing live, watching us live. And so I think it hit home. A lot of things have been hitting home in the news recently, and so I think I'm excited to. I'm not excited, but I'm at least happy to be able to share some of that stuff today with John, and happy to be here.
Okay, great. Yeah, the purpose of us coming live tonight was also to wish, with everyone else, our hearts and prayers go out to the people of Afghanistan, especially our people that were our allies. And all we can do is right now just hope for the best and that things turn out well. And if things aren't going well today, but we can only hope, and pray that things turn around rather quickly, and those folks who, supported us and our service members while we were on the ground, in theater, will be able to get out and get their families out and be safe. I think we all want that, right? I think that's something that's very important for us, and for the 20+ year war that we've been in. So. There's a lot going around today, a lot of sentiment going around in the veteran community. And I think veterans and active duty, anyone that actually served there on the ground, could have more an investment in that, because they actually engaged the Afghan people, and especially those who supported the troops and people that were there on the ground. So that's very important. Again, our hearts go out to those folks as well, and we hope they'll be safe. Is there anything you wanted to add, Gabe, to that?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So I joined the Marine Corps in early 2001. And so right when I hit the fleet, right when I hit my unit, half of us were split up. Half of us went to Afghanistan for a few months, half of us kind of supported. And so the unit that I was with obviously had a lot of supporting roles after that fact, after we actually went to Afghanistan. And I never personally went, but obviously had a lot of buddies I served with that went and came back. Some didn't. There's a lot of tough times that people have gone through, whether you're supporting it actually in the armed services or just friends and loved ones, whatever country you call home. There's been a lot of. It's been a long time since we've been. Involved with Afghanistan specifically, and just to see it all kind of unraveling, not exactly how anybody wanted it or saw it happening, is kind of frustrating. And my heart, our hearts go out to those impacted. So whether you're actually on the ground or just have any other connection to Afghanistan, or those who have served, or those who are fighting or trying to survive. So it's a very tough time for sure.
Yeah, and again, I think if you were there on the ground serving, we also have another board member who served, actually was on the ground in I think Iraq and Afghanistan too, Jeremy Daniels, who was actually a burn pit victim, and who has drawn a great deal of attention and awareness toward that particular situation and that challenge. So a lot of service members and veterans who have served there are, really, and I encourage people to reach out to veterans that whether or not they served on the ground or not, whether they were in theater in Afghanistan, Iraq, Kuwait, wherever they may have been, because this transcends that. I think it hits every veteran, every service member really hard, kind of is a gut punch, so you want to check in with those folks, vet service member that's active duty, just give them a call, send them a text, say, hey, how you doing? Just, bring it out and let them talk about it. That's really important right now, because it is such a gut punch right now. And we all want the best. We all hope, pray for the best. There's not a lot we can do right now. We can only hope the government and DOD, Department of Defense, does everything it can. I saw a lot of airlifts today from the Air Force. The airmen are doing an incredible job. It's very difficult getting in and out right now, and it's like a corkscrew. You got to really fine tune it, and you're actually being refueled in the air. I saw that as well, because a lot of times they're lifting off and they have a huge payload, obviously, and maybe not enough fuel, so they get the fuel when they're in the air. So again, that presents its own kind of special danger. So there's a lot of going on behind the scenes. So we just want to also kind of remember that, right now. And so I want to thank everybody for, thinking of them and keeping them in your prayers, please. It's very important. So what Gabe and I are going to do right now is kind of change up a little bit right here. We're going to talk about our programs and services. We've been around for 9 years now. We started out 9 years ago collecting items most needed by the wounded at Walter Reed Military Hospital. Again, I'm here in Washington, D.C., and Gabe is a board member out in Colorado right now. He's in Boulder, right? Is that right, Gabe?
Yep.
And so Gabe's with us for the long haul as well. And so, yeah, we started out doing that. We saw the need at Walter Reed for essential items. We worked with the American Red Cross station at the old Walter Reed on Georgia Avenue, actually in D.C. before it was moved up to Bethesda Naval up in Bethesda, Maryland, and which is a fantastic facility up there, if you can say that about a hospital, but it truly is amazing state of ER hospital for our service members. But we saw that early on, about 9 years ago. Service members were coming back, missing legs and arms and whatnot, and the sheer influx was incredible, absolutely incredible. So again, we really didn't have an idea of what we were going to be faced with. So we pitched in. We did what we could do. One thing led to another, and we established United Soldiers and Sailors of America. And that's where we are today. So if you want to learn more about us, also go to our website, which is actually, if you're on our Facebook page, you'll see it right now. We're also streaming to YouTube. So if you go to USASOA.org, you can see a lot of the different programs and services that we have. One thing that we really do focus on, one of the challenges that we focus on out of all of our programs and services is our homeless veterans outreach initiatives. And we call it initiatives because it encapsulates several campaigns that truly help homeless veterans that are living on the streets. We help veterans that are living in VA transitional housing units, and who are food insecure, who simply don't have enough food to make it through the month. And when you're in your 60s and your 70s and you're on medication and you have a very limited budget, you really need to eat well, or at least eat. And these vets often, again, have to rely on the generosity of organizations like ours to fill the food pantries that they go to. And we work specifically with the Department of Veterans Affairs here in the Washington, D.C. area, so that we hold monthly food drives. And I'm going to show you guys now what we would like to collect. And this is actually probably one of the most requested items and this, let me see if you can get a glare on that, but this is what we call a ready-to-eat meal. But truly it's, a microwavable meal. And this particular one is and it has roast beef, mashed potatoes, and gravy, and it's already cooked, so you can microwave it to heat it up, but it doesn't need to be cooked. So, for instance, we can use these to give it to vets that live on the streets, or we could take it to the transitional housing units or to the homeless shelters, and they can be used that way. So we ask everybody, to just pretty much go to our website. You can see things like this that we collect. We have an Amazon food store as well, so that people can go online, which is fantastic. And it's an Amazon food pantry, so you can go there and for a few dollars, like you can buy this for I think $1.59, I think it is. And there's things like prepackaged tuna, things like that that can be eaten right away. So you'll see that on our food on Amazon Food Pantry, and it's sent the very next day, through Prime, and it goes directly to the VA shelter, to the transitional house. So that very next day, your $2 investment is being, food is being eaten by veterans who are hungry. So that's one of the programs that we have. And then of course we work with grocery stores in our area. We set up a table out front, and we call it boots on the ground. And again, it's a form of a food drive. So what we're asking people, we hand them a card, a postcard when they go in, and on the one side of the card, it tells them who we are and what we're doing. On the flip side, has a list of all the items we're collecting. And again, it'll be something like this: a ready-to-eat meal, soup. It's just various different items, non-perishable food. And we ask people, hey, when you're coming out, when you go in, buy it, and then when you come out, just drop it off to our table. And it's got such a tremendous traction, because people know, hey, I'm actually buying food. I'm not just giving an organization money, and you kind of hope, they're going to do the good thing. And majority of organizations, especially veteran service organizations, do really good as far as donations go, and they make every dollar stick. So, but what we ask for, is for food. And because at the end of all these food donation drives, again, working with the Department of Veterans Affairs, we're able to take it right to them right there. So the food that you're donating, either at our food drive or through the Amazon Food Pantry that we have, is being eaten that night by hungry veterans. So the impact is incredible. You can do this wherever you are. You can do it at your place of worship, your church, temple, wherever you go. You can do it in an office building. Schools can do this. Everyone can. So, and again, just having what we call, our boots on the ground, our grassroots efforts mean a great deal, because we're having that meaningful impact. We're actually going food to mouth. And I think that's very important. And it takes very little effort to do this. Gabe, you've been a part of this how long now? The effort is easy. It's very easy to do.
Right. And it makes a difference, even if it is just that $1.35 or what have you for one single meal. Imagine just someone not having to worry, just at least one for one meal that day, not having to worry where to get it, not having to go in line somewhere else because, they're all out of food here and going across town, they have their meal. It might not be enough, but it's certainly more than what they could have. And if it's just $1 something, it's certainly well worth it. So we'll get that link. We'll share the link also to the Amazon Food Pantry, and just check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll put some stuff up here too. I think I can do that as well. Here, let me see if I can show this in the stream. This is, we partner with the Knights of Columbus also here in Bethesda, and they've been fantastic. This picture that everyone can see up here to the side of Gabe is one of the tables that we set up. People, during COVID, we were out there. I mean, we were very respectful. Number one, we were all taking all due caution, but we didn't shutter our organization, because we knew just how important it was to keep this going, and how much that homeless vets and at-risk vets, and even our elderly, depended on this food. They will call us. The VA will call and say, hey, we're really low on food. Can you guys help out? And we do every month, but there's times that it slips so far, and because of COVID and organizations and places just shuttered, and even the shelters, I mean, where homeless vets could go to, that was shuttered. So we went into the streets, looking for them, and we did care packages. We just did care packages one day. It was how long ago was it? 2 weeks ago. You were here. You came into DC. deliver them directly to the transitional housing units. So yeah, if you can say SOA.org, you'll see it, under our programs and services. So I think that it's extremely important that we keep in mind those veterans, especially today. I mean, we're all feeling a little bit numb from what's going on in Afghanistan. This could be a very positive thing for us right now to focus on. And again, I think there's also a certain sense of self-worth and purpose when you're helping others in need. You can find that sense of purpose too when you're helping people in need. So we really wanted to kind of focus on that and say, folks, if you can help out in this manner, please do go to our website. Now you'll also see many of the other programs and services that we provide, and again, with this, we work with as you see here, also we work with veterans in crisis. So that goes from anything from homelessness that we're talking about right now to hunger, food insecurity. We do both mental and spiritual well-being through our Operation Reboot, which meets generally on a monthly basis. And just to get veterans and active duty service members together to talk about things and experiences that they're having, to get it off their chest, in a peer-to-peer situation, so that they can actually, not have to, engage. If you're active duty, obviously, Gabe, you could probably speak, but if you're having issues, a lot of guys and gals, they just won't go, won't seek that help, and I think even if your experiences, you could probably talk about that pretty quick, about what that would mean.
Yeah, I think, I mean, if it's active duty, I mean, just because we're active duty doesn't mean we're suffering in some way, or couldn't use some kind of help, simply because sometimes, especially when you're first joining your first few years, it's not a great financial, lifeline, just simply having a job as a military service member. I mean, just don't get paid very much if you're single, and you're somewhat capable of handling your own finances, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes you have bills. Sometimes you have a family. You have people to take care of, and so helping active service members is also just something that people don't realize that we do, and that sometimes needs to be done, but their families also, and just continuing the support that military members get when in the community, after they are after the end of active duty, or if they're medically discharged. A lot of the support structures don't follow you. Certainly some of them might, especially if you're in the hospital, if you're getting active help, like medical help, but your support